welcome back to another episode of Fit for Life Radio. I am one of your hosts, Will, here with Ben and Gary, as well as a special guest, one of our current members here at Coastal Strength and Fitness, Bryan Daniels. And we're really going to dig in with him on, his ex-competitive swimming days and how that's transferred over to his training and the challenges it's brought with it. You know, when you're in that hashtag beast mode for half of your life, and as you start to get older, you find you can't do that. Things just don't work like they did when you were 18 years old. So it's fun to get into that with him and see, what has he had to change, what roadblocks has he hit on the way to getting leaner and stronger and just healthier in general. So definitely one to listen to for anybody who kind of struggles with that up and down of going real hard, getting burned out, going real hard, getting burned out, or when people, if you find that you went too hard and got injured, or you frequently do that, or maybe you're just kind of hurting and you're not sure why, this will be one for you. So definitely take a listen, and I know you guys are gonna like it.
Bryan,
what's up?
Why don't you introduce yourself to all of the fair folks?
What's going on, guys? Bryan Daniels been with Coastal for about a year and a half now. So far things are going really good. Started off really out of shape and really intimidated to start back working out again. Mm-hmm. Remember the first day walking in to actually start my membership with Coastal, and I saw Ben, and I was like, we were in this really small box, and I was like, how am I going to get anything done in this little area?
Back in the broom closet days.
Yeah, exactly.
So for everyone who doesn't know, like, our old gym before we moved was like, thinking back now, was like a freaking broom closet. I honestly don't know how we fit 20 plus people in there for classes and managed to do everything. Like, we would talk to people, like new members, and classes are changing and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's weird being in here now where everything's just gigantic. So back when he started, it was definitely close.
When I walked in, I can tell you guys, I was at 265, probably the highest I've ever been, and completely out of shape. And the only time I really dry land I did, because I came from growing up, I was a competitive swimmer for 14 years. I was ranked in the top 16 in the nation in a couple events my junior and senior year in high school. So the basically only thing I really had was all swimming background, endurance type training, not anything like weights and really working out that type of way. So I remember talking to Ben, and Ben was like, it's going to be a little tough for a month. I was like, oh yeah, I know I'm going to be struggling big time for a month. And but I remember my first workout, I rolled in and I sat in the parking lot completely intimidated, watching everybody walk in at the 8:30 class, and saw Ben and Will, and I'm like, okay, here we go. And then 2 days later, Will.
Old Bill.
Hey, I always joke that I'm gonna fire Ben and Will and get me a bill.
Just one bill to rule them all.
One of them a combination of the strengths of both of them.
Yeah. And I walked in, and Will's like, you're really gonna hate today. He said, we're testing, and it's the 1 minute air bike challenge. I'm like, oh great, it's not that hard. Yeah. It was dead.
So for anyone who's never done that, like, I highly encourage everyone, pending someone with a heart condition, to do a 1 minute air bike. So hop on an assault air bike or something. Don't hop on a spin bike because it's not the same. Hop on an air bike, hard as you can for 1 minute. And if you think you went hard enough, you probably didn't. So go a little bit harder than you even think you should. When you're done, you'll probably you'll be dead.
Yeah, it's only pending a heart condition, but also pending you have nothing to do for the next 36 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it'll take you out for, if you do it right, it'll take you out for the whole day. It will ruin your day. However, it's a great test of your strength endurance. Mm-hmm. It's a good tell on, hey, where's my body at? Is it strong? Can it sustain this power for, a full minute? And it's a rough ass day to start, to say the least. So it's funny when people start on those days, 1 minute air bike or a rough ladder. I'm like, damn, I don't know if they're going to come back after this.
Well, yeah, and that's what I was saying. Brian made it over the hump. He comes in one of his first times. You're hitting the 1 minute air bike, and yet you still. I mean, if you can get through that,
then you're good.
we can't really throw anything harder at you than
exactly.
that. So
I don't know. That 4 minute reverse lunge kills me.
Okay.
Fair enough.
So the worst part about that is how sore you are, right?
Right.
Air bike isn't going to leave you sore.
No.
True.
It's not. Like, you might
debilitate you for
burn like a mofo for a whole day, but like you're not going to be sore the next day from it.
right.
But 4 minutes of heavy reverse lunges, like, that'll take you out for the weekend, which is why we do it on Fridays, so you have that whole weekend to recover.
It's because of the gripping of the kettlebell.
Well, I mean, it's the gripping, but dude, 4 minutes of lunges is just a lot of lunges.
Well, yeah, but the grip stuff is what gets me the worst. Like, dude, a max farmer carry where you get that little nauseous feeling. Like,
oh yeah,
dude, to me that's like almost way worse than like an air bike. You know,
Yep.
like I can gut through something, but man, that like nauseous feeling when you're like just holding on to something, that's brutal.
yeah, dude. Like, we started doing a kettlebell complex to test, and dude, the grip I think is the hardest part because there's a curl in there, which
That's tough. That is.
I think the curl's the hardest part.
Yeah, it ends up being like the one that puts you over the edge.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, I have to set
Yeah,
the
like
curl.
your
It's 45
freaking
pound
forearms
curl.
are on fire, and you got these Popeye swollen forearms. You already got a pump, and you're halfway through. So that's probably you're right. That's the awful feeling.
But then when you're done, it feels great. Like you get that forearm pump, you know.
Yeah, but the worst is like when you get a pump, but it goes past the pump, where you feel like there's something crawling around inside. Like I get that when we do air bike, it's like that. Like there's freaking worms in my legs.
Like the twitch you get.
Dude, it's like it's crawling. Like there's stuff inside, and like so when you pass over to that, then it's the worst.
You've gone past that point.
Yeah, like I hate going past the point, and then I know the rest of my day is gonna suck. All right, so you started on like one of the hardest days that we normally have in terms of, one single thing,
Right.
and then you made it. So, after that, like, you initially you lost a good amount of weight.
Yeah, I came in and I remember Ben and Will, both of you guys were like, don't look at the scale. Don't even look at a scale. And you guys gave me the template, and I still follow that today. I haven't changed. The only thing I've changed is adding an extra carb.
Yeah.
And I follow the template and I'm a creature of habit, man. It's 4 eggs every morning, and it's just a routine. It's 4 eggs every morning and a banana or blueberries.
Yep.
And then it's just 2 servings of protein at lunch, and then 2 servings of protein at dinner, and as much vegetables as I can possibly eat.
Boom.
But I didn't look at the scale for the first 3 months, and I was just like, and I was asking guys like Danny Jones and people like that were in an 8:30 class, and I was like, is this really going to work? They're like, just keep coming back, trust the process. I'm like, okay, and I'm like, but we're not moving as fast, because I was so used to, in swimming, you're training for a championship meet, and I had that mindset as like I had to go and 100% all the time. And with me doing that, I was burning the weight off, because when I stepped on the scale, I was like, whoa, I just lost like 20 pounds, and I'm not hungry. Feel a lot better. So, and I didn't really change. I didn't really change much after that. I just, like I said, stay with the program. But the hardest thing for me at the time was getting to the gym.
Yeah.
Because I was on a schedule that kind of flip-flopped so much, where I was working at, then I changed jobs and got on a regular schedule so I could get here in the afternoon. But me with the weight loss was kind of, I know this is going to sound weird, easy. Because I can get into a routine of just the nutrition and knocking, because the first thing I knocked out was fast food.
Yep.
And then I started knocking out like coffee, because my coffee could beat Starbucks. I mean, I had so much cream and sugar in my coffee before, I could have put them out.
Melted some
I could have
ice cream the night before.
Yeah, I could have put them out of business. And
That melted ice cream.
it was ridiculous.
That good stuff.
Yeah. So what I did is I just started eliminated creamer, then eliminated sugar. Now it's just straight black coffee, and I don't have any other way. So
The way it was intended to be drank.
yeah.
And I'm gonna circle back real quick. You mentioned how like you basically followed the template we gave you. I
Yes.
can't tell you like how like our weekly meeting is essentially us every week saying, man, I wish people would just follow the template that we give them when they join, because
How do I get people to follow the template?
like I don't think people understand like, hey, like the people who follow this template, like guaranteed results. Like this is so it's really like everything we do is trying to teach people skills and habits to move closer to the template.
Yep.
But obviously different personality types. Like you describe your personality type, it makes perfect sense, right? Like
Yep.
you just and the thing is, like if you do just do the template and show up, like literally, like we have it down. Like our number one goal: get the client to show up to gym consistently. Like what they do at the gym and their performance does not matter at all. Just be consistent and do
Yep.
the template. Do the template, and like you will lose weight. Like it's as simple as that. But 9 out of 10, there's tons of roadblocks and stuff in the way. So when you say it was easy, like it is easy if people are just consistent and don't put so much pressure on themselves.
Yep.
Now the challenge, the roadblock ends up being, which I know you're probably about to get to, is when it doesn't get easy. Like you get past the initial phase, and now this is where your personality was a hindrance, right?
Absolutely.
That kind of athletic mindset. I think what happens since working out in this whole fitness thing is physical. If you were an ex-athlete, like you relate the two, right? Like, oh, like competition and push. But really, this whole fitness lifestyle and exercise should be more like hygiene, like brushing your teeth, than it should be like your swimming or athletic background, right? You know, like does that make sense? What I'm trying to say?
Oh, absolutely. I remember when I was coming in here, and I'll just touch back on, like you said, with the template and just how you're trying to get clients to it works. If I can tell any new members or anybody coming in here, it works. I've got pictures of my fat ass before and then when I came in, and what I've done since. I mean, right now I'm at a weight loss of 58 pounds right now.
Boom.
You know, and I didn't do any of this stupid, crazy, none of this crap. 60, 90-day cleanse or all. That's just bull crap. It doesn't work. If you follow the template and listen to these guys here, the trainers, you're paying good money. Listen to you guys. Follow what they tell you to do. It's gonna work. Mm-hmm. But like what Gary said, with me going back to my athletic background, yeah, I got to a point where, the weight loss was just automatic boom, and I was starting to get stronger. I remember when I was coming in, we did push-ups, and I was doing box. Ben had me doing push-ups, and I couldn't do push-ups. I stayed on the box for, I don't know, 6 months probably.
Months, yeah.
Months.
It was
And then, I'm not even going to talk about lunges, man. Mr. PVC was my friend. I mean, I couldn't do a lunge to save my life. But you just keep working and coming in, and it gets better. But I got to a point where the weight loss was there, and I was getting stronger, but I kind of went down the rabbit hole where I was looking for every little thing to solve that problem. I was trying to look at macros. Okay, how can I lose more weight? I can cut this out. I can cut that out. And I kind of got away from the template a little bit. And then with me, I was coming to the gym 5 days a week and doing smackdowns. And Will's like, you kind of need to back off a little bit. I'm like, I'm good. Because of that competitive background I have. And I was working out. I'll never forget, before I hurt my back, I was working out it was Rob, big Rob. He does Rob things. And
always does.
Ben was here, it was an afternoon, and I was trying to keep up with that guy. And I'll never forget what he said. He's like, you're not going to get there. He's on a different level. And I'm like, but that's my goal. He's like, but no, you're looking at it wrong. He says, he's been doing that for 10 years. You've been doing this for less than a year. Give yourself a little break. And of course I didn't take it. I said, well, I can push through because that's what I've always done.
Go.
Go. And you just keep building up till championships. Well, there was no championships. And that's where my mindset
and
had
you're not
to change.
18.
Yeah, I'm not. Exactly. You're not 18 anymore. You're 42 years old.
That's the other part of it too.
And it's funny, right? If when you were a swimmer at your peak, like 16th in the nation, and if you were talking to a kid 10 years younger than you, you would be like, dude, I've been swimming for 10 years, right?
Oh, absolutely, no doubt. Yeah, you're not going to get there right now. But I had that mindset of, you got to push, and you'll get there. But I jacked my back up, and that kind of took me, and I take a big step back, because I had to look at it and go, okay, wait a minute. This is a lifestyle change. You're not in a sprint. This is a marathon. Mm-hmm. Take your time and just go through the process, because I like the grind. I come in here and it's a way for me to get away from everything for an hour and just, if we could just stop playing Taylor Swift music, it'd be great.
That's never gonna happen,
It's
man.
killing me when I work out, especially on
happen.
deadlift days.
Matter of fact,
We
I'm
were
gonna crank
playing Taylor
it.
Swift music before I left.
Yeah, I know. Get back here, Gary.
It was Bieber though, so
Yeah, he played a lot of beats.
I mean, just to be fair.
Gary was pretty much just like, what was it? Oh, damn it. I can't think of the name. Timberland, right?
Oh no, Flow Rida.
Flow Rida.
Yeah,
Same guy.
yeah.
They're all the same. They're all the same.
Flow Rida and Jay Beebs was all Gary played.
Yeah.
So
Played on the Flow Rider.
I don't know if you're going to be in much
It
better
does the
shape.
job.
Yeah,
It does
exactly,
the
right?
job.
Oh,
But,
he wants like AC/DC. That's what it is.
Yeah, that hard rock.
Exactly. Get the little.
You know, we do it every
Screaming.
once in a while. We
Yeah.
kind of rotate, but
Metal Mondays never stuck though, man.
They never stick.
No,
If they
no
do,
one-
yeah,
then-
you
no
know
one-
what, man? No one liked Metal Mondays.
No, they didn't. Like,
when people start when they started growling,
Yeah.
like, people were very happy about that. But I guess I get it. But you know, is that like the devil's music or something?
yeah.
I guess I don't know. Tomorrow's Easter.
Yeah.
Metal Sundays.
Metal Sunday, yeah.
But yeah, so I don't even remember where we were at.
Embracing the grind of it.
Oh yeah, the whole grind.
And how
man.
when he pushed, which I'm sure Ben will appreciate because this is what Ben preaches, is, you know, like you got that back injury not because of some freak moment in time, but it's because you basically were overloading your central nervous system, your ability to recover, and that injury was your body's way of almost stopping you from
Doing something real bad.
telling you to cut that shit
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I came in, I know it was deadlift day. We were testing. I rocked out 400 twice, and I felt some twinge. And then, of course, what do? I come in and do SmackDown. That I go 5 straight days, come in and do SmackDown, and we're doing jump rope, and my back just goes. And I'm like, Ben,
On
I don't know
jump
what
rope,
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing
And it's
jump,
something dumb. It's
doing
like,
jump
yeah.
rope. You know, I'm jumping rope, and my damn back goes out. I'm like, what the hell? So I came and saw Ben, and Ben did this voodoo on me and got me right. But it took a little while to get back. I mean, I haven't even touched close to 400 on my deadlifts anymore. But
But you know what though?
Like your deadlift and squat are 10 times better
Oh.
than what they used to be.
it was
Because you took a step back.
yeah, that was the main thing. And sometimes with me, I have to take a step
Uh-huh.
back because I will go and push, and this what whoa, hold on, and I'll look at Will and say, what do I need to do? He's like, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right.
Man, and this drive that Bryan has to be as strong as he wants to be, and he's put in a body that people would pay for his flexibility and mobility. Problem is they contradict each other a little bit.
Yeah, they
you
do.
know, you want to be
that's-
strong on a
yes.
deadlift, you have to be able to compress yourself and be. But I mean, he can
stable.
throw his arm, leg back, and touch these
Yeah.
two things together that
Yeah.
you wouldn't even understand.
And that's
so
That's been part of the struggle. Like he can get into positions, right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
like, are you stable in the position? That's what like we've really been working on
Right.
that a lot. Which is man, it's
Been getting so much better and being stable because like the dude can go ass to grass on a squat, easy, no problem.
Yeah.
But
It's at Newport News Public School Education.
that's what it is. That's what gets you, man. Drop that thing down. But anyways, like we had to work on his stability because if you're mobile but you're not I say mobile. If you are flexible but not stable, then like you don't have that position and you're gonna get hurt. That's just the way it is. And so yeah, we've really worked on that. And so I think that's like that was one thing. It was like, you know, talking to a freaking brick wall at first. Like, hey, we need to slow down. We need to slow down. We need to slow down. And that's, you know, the nature of Bryan's competitive personality and where he came from. But he has, you know, like I would say completely turned that corner and is so receptive to like, all right, well, this is what we need to do to get better, regardless of if he likes it in the moment or not. You know, for one, he knows, you know, we're not going to steer him wrong. And two, like he's willing to do it whether he, you know, likes it right then and there. So, yeah, so that's been like a good corner that's been turned big time. But it took
really for you because you left for a little while.
Yeah, I took a 4-month break because of, you know, with my back and everything else, and I was getting frustrated with, you know, not being able to go like I was 18, 19, 20 years old anymore. And it's like, wow, you're getting older.
Yep.
You can't go like that anymore, and you actually need to, because I wasn't embracing the recovery aspect. I was just going. I mean, I was here 5 days a week for a good 6 months straight.
And hitting it hard every day
Yeah, I
too.
was-
You know, not like having that day where you just kind of chill and get through it, which like people need those. Contrary to popular belief, You know, you need more days that are just like doing the work and doing it well than, you know, hashtag beast mode every day.
Yeah, because I would come in and they'd be like, it'd be deload week, and I'm like, fuck that, we're not deloading, it's time to go. I mean, you know, and then, but Diego brought up a good point during that moment of time where I was just going. He's like, what are you training for?
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean? I was like, are you running in a race next week? Are you doing a tough mud or anything? I was like, no. He's like, so what are you training for? And it got me to think, you know, okay, I'm training for healthy to be the rest of my life, because in my household, and especially on the male side, everybody has heart problems and everybody has high cholesterol. And I was like, okay, that's what I'll work towards, you know?
Which is great.
And what a lot of people don't realize is like health and elite fitness are not the same thing.
No, not at all. Not at all. And so I was like, okay, well, we got the nutrition down. Let's stay with this. And I listened to Diego. And like I said, I took a break for like 4 months and came back. And I was like, all right, Will, let's start over. I'm going to go at a totally different pace. And Will's like, this is what we've been trying to tell you.
Yeah.
And I'll come into the gym now. And if I have a good workout, that's great. If I don't, it doesn't matter. I got the work in.
Yep.
You know, you're not going to be hashtag beast mode 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Exactly. Like, and I part of the thing to blame for that is, like, I feel like the CrossFit community, albeit like CrossFit's not completely evil and terrible and all that kind of stuff, but like the whole like no days off, train every, you know, all the time. They have freaking WODs every day, and then the Instagram culture of no days off, and you see everyone's just killing it, but you don't see that this dude's on the juice and he's been doing it for 20 years.
And it's not reality.
And he's a freaking superhuman, and you're like, damn, I can do that.
And
in reality, like, that's an anomaly. Like, The Rock, like, he is a 1 in, like, a billion shot of being The Rock.
Right.
And we see...
But all the time we're exposed to it left and right on Instagram and Facebook or whatever, and you think that's completely normal, when in reality, like... That is the opposite of normal.
Complete opposite.
And not telling people don't, like, shoot for the stars and chase your dreams, but realizing you are not going to be Dwayne Johnson.
Exactly.
And it's okay to not be Dwayne Johnson.
So, yeah, that's a big one.
And that was a big thing with when I was going to call you Bill again.
Bill.
Yeah,
Old
Bill.
Bill.
Old Bill.
It's interchangeable. Wow.
Ben was like, you're just, take a step back. And he said, I see where we talked about the competitiveness, and you definitely have it, but take a step back and look where you are now compared to where you were. And I was like, yeah, but I still got to go. And so Ben's like, no, just take a break. And so when I came back, it's almost been a totally different way of looking at things. And
oh, dude, absolutely.
when I was off for those 4 months, hey, I was eating awful. I was like, I didn't care. And yeah, I put weight back on, you know? But all that weight I put back on, I've taken it off since January, February, March, in those 3 months, and I'm down lower than I was before I got hurt. So
Nice.
It's all about just come in, do the work, listen to these guys, they know what they're talking about, and follow the process.
Yep.
You know, it's actually, I think mentally for somebody like you, it's probably easier to train for a championship meet in swimming or some amazing extreme fitness, whatever. But if you had to channel that same energy and competitive drive to, say, be the best Bryan who gets 6 to 7 hours of sleep and who eats a whole meal every single night, I mean, all of a sudden it's like, whoa, I don't think I can do that. There's so many people who are just like, no way, I can't sleep that much. No way, I can't make these positive decisions for myself. That should be, I guess, more simple. But you want to tell them, train for a half marathon. They're like, oh yeah, okay.
I got this.
What's step one? Let's do this. But it's the same energy allocation.
It is.
And honestly, being the best version of yourself is actually just as difficult, if not more difficult, than being a champion at XYZ.
Oh, absolutely.
So if you're able to pour that same energy into it, or at least kind of tell yourself, yeah, this is the same, I guess, the same amount of challenge or even more difficult, it may be a little bit easier to pour that energy into your next best decision or your next step, just
And
for being a
thinking,
better
like,
version of you.
You know, there's no end. There's no end moment, you know?
Yeah, there's no
and
end
I'll tell
moment.
you a big shift when you came back. was the difference in your attitude about everything. But, and this is something we used to talk about, and we kind of, it was hard to get through, was the mentality of when I get there, right?
Yeah.
That was always present, and the question is well, where's there? Is
Exactly.
there a there? Because part of the entire everything is the process, right? The process of getting better. And Gary had a good post on this, or he even talked about it. Maybe it was on the last podcast. I don't know. Everything blurs together. But really, what he said, imagine it's preseason NFL, and Roger Goodell comes and hands you the Lombardi Trophy, the whole team.
Yeah, I saw that.
You didn't have to do a damn thing, but you got the Lombardi Trophy. Are you even going to care about it?
No.
No, because you didn't have to do anything to get there,
Right.
right? And so, really, the what actually matters is the process and going through it, rather than the end result. The end result is a great benefit of going through the process, but if you had to take a pill and then you were just lean,
No.
freaking shredded, it's not as proud of a moment as when you work and you change who you are to become something else. And so I did notice a big change in the fact that I don't even hear you say when I get there anymore, which is really cool. Now it's just you have goals, which are great, awesome, but it's never this ever moving when I get there. Because
Right.
for a lot of people, they get stuck in the cycle of, all right, well, I'll be happy when I get there. No, you won't. You will not be happy when you get there, because there doesn't exist. There is nothing. There is just you not being happy with where you are. And that's been, for me, the biggest change in you, right? A lot of times, you would do well, but not be happy with your workout, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It wasn't good enough. And I'll never forget the day we tested something.
If you know me, you know I'm always on the run, up early and home late, so having a 3-hour morning routine isn't really in the cards for me. What is in the cards is AG1. It's a fast way to get vitamins and minerals I need to perform. I first gave AG1 a try because I wanted a single solution that helps support my entire body by filling in nutrient gaps and simplifying my morning routine. Since drinking AG1 daily, I've always felt strong and energized and ready to attack the day. Not only does AG1 deliver my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre- and probiotics, and more, it's a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. It's one scoop, mixed in water, once a day, and every day. I know that AG1 is giving my body high-quality nutrition. Every batch of AG1 goes through a rigorous testing process, so you know that it's safe. And AG1 ingredients are sourced for absorption, potency, and nutrition density. AG1 is a supplement that I trust to provide the support my body needs daily, and that's why I'm excited to welcome them as a new partner. Here is your chance to start every day this season with a gift to yourself. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/provengrit. That's drinkag1.com/provengrit. Check it out.
I know exactly what you're talking
It
about.
might have been 500 meter
The
row.
500 meter
We
row,
tested.
yep.
And you know what? For the first time, Bryan, he did really well, and he had been gone. This is shortly after you came back.
Right.
Did really well. Slightly slower than the last time he had done it, when I would say you were, we'll call it your peak on that. It was 4 seconds slower.
My hashtag beast mode moment.
Yeah, but you know what? He was like, dude, you know what? I feel good about that.
Huge.
Legitimately was proud of himself, and that was one of the first times I'd ever seen that, and it was good proof in the pudding that his mindset had truly shifted. So it was cool to definitely see that, and how he's kind of evolved since he took a little time off, had to kind of reflect on everything. Shit, I got hurt. I'm not where I want to be. What do I need to change?
So much more impressive than shaving a second or two off that time, but then to actually accept this was the best that I had today,
Yeah.
and I can be proud of it.
Yeah.
That is way harder than a second or two off your time.
And to go off that, we can go back 7 months when the first time I did it, and then the second time we tested it, I dropped I think it was 13 seconds, and
It
you were
was
like,
a lot.
You were like, that's awesome. I'm like, that sucked.
Yeah,
was
because and part of that may be just not being satisfied, and the other part is comparing yourself to other people.
I was.
Because there's other dude. We probably had somebody at the time pull they're 500 like a 122.
Easy. Yep.
You know, and then you got to realize like, all right, well that guy's 6'3", and he like has amazing form.
Yeah, he's 6'3". He's
built to row. And he's just better at it, right? But for Bryan, like, dude, 13 seconds is freaking huge.
I mean, yeah, Will looks at me. He's like, "You just dropped 13 seconds in like 3 months." I'm like, "It doesn't matter. I'm like,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter." He's like, "What are you talking?" I was like, "It doesn't matter."
So did you, between we'll say then and now, then did you feel like you just always compared yourself to other people, like around you?
Well, I always looked at when I came into the gym. I would look at somebody like, "I'm gonna outwork him today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna outwork that person today," and then you start working out with these same people, and it's like, I'm dying every other day. I can't keep up with these guys, and it's an ego killer.
Oh, yeah.
Because it takes your ego and puts you in check real quick.
Big time.
You know, you have to realize that, okay, you're not 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You've just started this about a year and a half ago. These people have been doing it 10, 11, 12 years. They're going to have an advantage over you.
Absolutely.
But I didn't care. And that was my competitiveness. I always looked for somebody, okay, I might work that person today. And that's where that time with Ben came in. He's like, you're not getting there.
Yep.
And that's the whole getting there mentality I had. I can get there, but I paid the price to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now,
And you know what's ironic is that actually set you back because then you had the injury.
Yep.
You know
Oh,
what I'm
absolutely.
saying? So if you didn't push as hard, you'd be further along. Right?
exactly.
Yep.
But
And that's
that's
part of the
hard
process.
to get through. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. You know, I'm hard-headed.
And you know what? Like, it's funny. Like,
Dude, we've made everything you've done, I've done, right?
yeah,
I was
we've
gonna say-
literally, we have made every mistake that you could make. I have been
it's like
every
being a parent.
injury, every
Yeah.
dumb shit, overtraining, under recovering thing you could do. I hurt myself overhead pressing heavy 2 times a week, which is the dumbest thing you can do. Like, especially for someone with shitty shoulders. But I did it, and I paid for it.
So
Yeah.
all we try to do is teach everyone our lessons, and I mean, you have a kid, so I'm sure that you know how it goes. Like sometimes you just gotta learn by failing yourself.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and I'll say this, like, I never want someone to learn the hard way. I don't. Like, it would be great if, someone would heed your advice. However, sometimes that's the best way to learn. Because sometimes you got to go through it. If you just truly don't believe, like, oh, that's not going to happen, I'm doing great or whatever, then you have to learn. You have to fail.
You do.
And failing is
really
part
do.
of the process. Failing sucks in the moment, but failing is great for the long run. Because when you fail, you have to face it. And you
Yeah.
have to have a talk with yourself, like, all right, well, I failed at this. What can I do better? Like, what can I change? Or what am I doing, wrong? Like, what am I being hard-headed about that caused me to end up in this position? And I think it's a great thing. So it's like a double-edged sword where I never want anyone to fail and at the root, but it is good when you kind of hit that, I'll say rock bottom. You're not necessarily hitting rock bottom, but you hit that hard place.
Yeah.
It's where you're like, oh, crap. Like, what am I doing? And that happens with some people, like, nutritionally or training-wise. Like, some people, like, we've had Carmen. Carmen's a good example who was on the podcast who, like, was going way too hard and was not eating enough food and hit that point where she's like, shit, like, why isn't this working?
Yeah.
And so, and we could have told her, and we probably did, like, and put that message out there, but until you actually hit it yourself, sometimes you just, it doesn't resonate with you until
Exactly.
then.
Yeah,
So
it's like I needed to get hurt to take a step back.
Dude, yeah, that's a good reminder. I mean, for most people, like, when you're going through an injury or, like, you feel like crap or whatever it may be, like myself as an example, when I hurt my shoulders, it was a really good wake-up call. Like, Will, you have the worst, like, shoulder mobility ever, and you're expecting to be able to overhead press 2 times a day. And then I went, like, down this, like, rabbit hole of getting hurt and, that whole thing, which I've probably gone over before, but, like, to this day, like, I'm still working at it because of, basically getting hurt, not addressing it, and then trying to train through and all this stuff. So, yeah, like, we've learned the hard way on a lot of things. A lot. And, it's our job to try to relay those messages, but sometimes they just don't penetrate thick-skulled people.
Exactly.
Bryan, one thing I think would be cool to touch on since you went through this, and it's super overlooked. Okay, is the power of the investment, in yourself. Like, for example, Coastal, the gym, our program's not a cheap program, but I think you're the perfect example where, like, you came in, you got great results, and then when you left for those 3 or 4 months, you mentioned how you started, gaining weight back, not doing stuff, and you knew all the same information, right? Like, you had learned from us for almost a year, right? So you knew what to do, but you weren't taking action, right? Then you come back to Coastal, start, lose the weight and more with the same information. So a big difference maker is the fact that you're investing, you're making the payment, which then makes you take action, right? And I say I mean this is human psychology, right? So I think a lot of people overlook the importance of that. You want to kind of maybe talk about that? I know it's kind of a weird thing, but
oh, sure.
because I think a lot of people listening, they don't understand that, right? Like, I used to work at a gym that was $20 a month, and say something like Coastal, we have 50, 60 stories like you. And then when I used to work at a gym that was $20 a month and we had 600-700 members, there was less than 3 stories like yours, right? But all the same information, same equipment. One of the biggest differences is the price and therefore the investment and priority that someone puts in it.
The way I look at it, and I have people tell me all the time, you spend that amount of money? I'm like, yeah, I do spend that amount of money. And the thing is, I look at it as I'm investing in my health. I'm investing in a long-term goal of me being able to move, being able to do what I want to do for the rest of my life. What we have here is not like anything we have anywhere else. I mean, you come in, you don't have to think. The workouts are planned for you. You're good there. All you have to do is come in and do the work and follow what you guys plan for us. If you do that, the process, like you said, we've got 50, 60 people, it works. Mm-hmm. Those 3 months I took off, I said, you know what, I can do it on my own. So I tried Globo Gym. Well, I walked in there and it's like, okay, you can't really explain what we have here unless you come to a workout. Mm-hmm. Because when you're working out by yourself, yeah, you can put all the music on you want. You don't have to listen to Taylor Swift or Justin Bieber and whatever you want to listen to. But the type of atmosphere we have here with a group setting, it's more accountability. You have more accountability here than you do out of the $30 a month gym or $15 or whatever you're paying.
Yep.
But what we have here, you have a nutritionist, or your own nutritionist here. You have coaches that want you to succeed. Mm-hmm. They're not here just to be here. They're here to actually want you to succeed, and they're following your progress. Because anybody knows who's been in any type of sport, sometimes you have coaches that are just there. Mm-hmm. That are just on the deck, or on the pool, or just at the gym or wherever on the field. And they're just there to collect a paycheck. That's not what it is here.
Yep.
We've got Voodoo Ben over here that can basically take everything, well, not I'm gonna say take everything away, all the pain away, but point you in the right direction. You know what I mean?
He just touches you and you're
He just touches you. I mean, he just touches you and you're done.
He wears this weird robe. He walks around with no shoes on and just touches people in
Yeah.
their face.
Long hair.
Yeah, it's great, man.
He's really
And Chris
excited about
Matthews just
Easter.
walked in from How to Catch a Predator.
Something big's happening, boys. You just wait.
But
Gear up.
you're investing in yourself here. You're investing in your health. I mean, you can't put a price tag on that. You can't. I mean, and yeah, it's more money, but like you guys talked about last week, I think you're right, Gary. The more money you spend, the more invested you are in your health and in what is involved, instead of paying just $30 or $10 a month.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you're going to take more of a better approach at looking at the way you want to spend your money. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah, and it's for most people, if you're spending money on something, you are more likely to do it the higher that money is. If I'm spending $1,000 a month to pay a coach to help me with whatever it may be, dude, you better believe I'm doing everything to tell me, because it's $1,000 freaking dollars.
Exactly.
And I want to get the benefit out of that investment. And if I'm not, I'm literally wasting $1,000. Mm-hmm. Which that's a high end, but for some business coaches or high-end coaches, like that's what you're paying. And even for us, you know, our price point, it's a lot of money for people. However, like how much money do you waste on just stuff that doesn't really matter or that negatively impacts you? You know, like going out to get fast food, you know, like, or going out to eat and get drinks. Like, dude, for some people, they could drop $100 on drinks in a weekend. Holy shit.
There's some people who could drop $100 a night.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just a Friday night.
So that, you know, it's really like what's the value to you? And the more you pay, the more you're willing to invest in it is really what it is, you know?
And it's really, what do you want to get out of it? Mm-hmm. You know, I remember we talked about it. You know, you wish you could tell people, like, for the first month or first year, you're not going to lose any weight. Mm-hmm. We're going to work on getting stronger.
Yep.
Because that was one of my biggest things, getting stronger. Because the reason why I started looking for a gym is because the company I was working for, I had to climb a certain apparatus that you can see from 64 going down Williamsburg, and I got to the top of it and I was out of breath, and I said, this has got to stop. I'm done.
Yep.
You know, I'm awful. I feel awful, and I saw you guys online, and I was like, well, it's a 30-day trial. I'll give it a shot.
You drank the Kool-Aid, man.
I drank that. I took the red pill and right down the rabbit hole I went.
Nah, but you're right. Like, you know, what do you want to get out of it? And that's, you know, what people got to ask. And I'm okay with being a high price point. I'm fine. Like, I would rather be that because people are more. You're going to get more out of it when you're paying more money.
Right.
You know?
You get more serious people too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a great quality of person. So, and that's the other thing, right? Too, Brian. It's so much more than a gym, right? Like, it's the community. Like you talked about how, like, you can come in and shut your brain off, right? Like, it's a positive atmosphere. You're not gonna have to talk about, you know, the politics and get all angry, you know, like you know, water cooler stuff. It's just it's a good thing to have in your day for your sanity, right? Like, I think Will had told me how one of the pushes for you to get back to the gym was, and I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this was you, was your wife telling you, like, you're not as happy as before. You need to go back to the gym.
Oh yeah, she basically looked at me. She's like, you're being a wuss. Stop moping around. Get your ass back to Coastal. I think those were her words, pretty much.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
I think that's exactly what you told me.
I can hear the love in
But
this.
you know what, man? Like, and that is, we could go a full episode on that. But dude, having supportive people in your life is huge. You know?
Oh, absolutely.
And you know what? If she hadn't said that, maybe you wouldn't have come back.
I may not have.
Having that kick in the butt from someone who cares about you and just wants you to do well and feel good, dude, that's huge. And for someone to say, like, hey, you will be happier if you do this. I know it because you're not yourself right now. Like, that's powerful.
Yeah, she looked at me. She was like, look, I understand that, you know, she's like, it's a lot of money. You're not who you used to be. Get your butt back to Coastal. Do what you got to do. Yep. And that's what people don't understand about this place. We keep saying about it. I know other podcasts, people keep saying it's this place. But it really is. There's a group of people here that you have people that could compete in CrossFit, and down to people who couldn't do a 4-minute reverse lunge to save their life. Mm-hmm. But we're all working together. Yep. You know, it truly is a community and a family here. And that's what I didn't expect coming in. I just expected, okay, come in, work out for an hour, and go home. But you walk through the door, and at the time, the Jazzercise sign was up. So, I mean,
it was Jazzy!
It's the Kool-Aid. You drink the Kool-Aid, and I remember the first time I worked out, I was working out with Danny Jones. He's like, good job. I'm like, I don't know you.
Yeah, why you telling me good job, man?
Good job. I mean, but
Old Danny.
If you don't like to be told good job, then I don't think you should walk in here.
It's just different. It's just different because if you used to,
isn't that what people need today? Like, more people just tell them good job. Like,
just be positive. Just be positive, and that's the biggest thing in here. It's you never come in here and it's negative. Now I'll look at Will sometimes, and he'll throw some madness on the board, and I'll call him Ramsay from Game of Thrones because he's trying to kill me.
Which is fine.
I mean,
we're used to that, man.
Yeah, or he'll tell me, you know, do a 5-second squat, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, I remember the first time I told you to do that.
Yeah, and I looked at him like he was crazy. But, I mean, it's not about – I don't know. You got to walk in the door. You just got to walk in the door, give it a shot.
Now let me ask you this. I'm interested to hear the answer. So you've lost almost 60 pounds, right?
Yep.
Now that you're there, like if you think back to like the old you, and if you would have lost 60 pounds, but what, when you really think about it, is the most satisfying thing about the process? Like, is it actually being 60 pounds lighter? Is it maybe some of the struggles? Like, where's your head at with that?
It's being able to prove to myself that I can do things that I didn't think I was able to do. I didn't think I remember doing lunges. I didn't think I could do a lunge to save my life. And the PVC pipe was my best friend.
The wizard stuff.
We shared time together, for God's sakes, for months.
Yep.
But, I'm not at the strength club yet, but I've got 2 down.
Yep.
I've got 1 left to go, and that's there. If I'd have lost the weight differently, I don't think I would feel the same. I wouldn't feel as good about myself as I do now. I'm getting comments from people now that are like, "Do you know what you look like now?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You're a different person." I'm like, and sometimes I'm like, "No, I'm not." And they're like, "You need to take a step back and look at where you were." And for me, the entire journey is what makes it satisfying, because I remember the first couple months I was dying, and Will are all like, "Just keep coming back." I'm like, "Why are you so happy? I can't even keep up, man. Why are you guys so positive? I can't even keep up with these guys." And they're just like, "Keep coming back. It'll get better. It will get better. Just keep coming back." And it is. It's from then to now, 60 pounds. There's nothing like the feeling I have now, because back then it was bad. It was bad.
And the cool thing is, I don't think you guys realize this, and we don't even realize it. The cool thing is, like you said, the coaches show up and they train their classes, and everyone kind of has their work day. But you know what we do, like outside, like when we get on the phone and we talk about you guys,
Yep.
Like we talk about the different scenarios and cases and situations and clients and
the good and the bad and everything.
Yeah. I'm not even there, and I know. This sounds creepy, and I know everything about you, bro.
Hey, Chris Matthews just walked into Gary's apartment.
And but it's cool because we all feel each other because we want to know, like we genuinely want to see you guys succeed, because ultimately that's what everyone wants. That 60-pound lighter you is going to be less likely to be on medications in 10 years.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
And that's exciting. So it's just cool to hear your story and like your struggles and all that. Like, that's going to come with it. That means you actually did it.
Yeah, and when I have like a day when I have like a bad day or something like that, and I get ready to come in here, the first thing I do is I'll go over to a dumbbell, and I'll pick up the 55-pounder, the 60. I'm like, that's what you used to carry on your body every day.
Yeah.
And
That
it's like,
answers a lot
yep,
of
throw that
questions,
bad boy
right?
down and let's do work.
You know how those people age and gain weight, and they're like, "Oh, my knees hurt, my back hurts."
Oh, yeah.
I get tired, and people just associate it with like getting older. It's like, no, it's because you're gaining body fat, and you have to carry that around.
And you're losing muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, if you carry around a 50-pound dumbbell everywhere, like your life is worse.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's why it's as simple as like lose the weight and find a positive outlook, and you are doing a lot for yourself, Then you can worry about your rowing time, your deadlift, like that's icing stuff, but it's definitely not the main stuff. So then when people get sidetracked, like I gotta have a 500-pound deadlift, and then they get hurt doing that, well then you just slowed progress on all those other things,
Yep.
So
And that boils down to what's your goal.
Yep.
Like if you just want to be healthy and live a great life for your entire life and not have heart problems and all this stuff, then worrying about a 500-pound deadlift is the farthest thing from what you need to worry about. Like that is not going to truly impact your life in a huge way, like, moving really well and eating really well would.
Yeah, because when you get a 500-pound deadlift, then you're just going to want a 510-pound deadlift.
Yep.
Exactly.
Then you're going to want a 520-pound deadlift. Which is fine to always want to progress, but you understand that, like, mentally, you're never going to be satisfied. So you just, once you accept that, then like Brian's mentioned, and like he's living now, like then you just dive into the process and just enjoy the process.
Yep, and you do better. Like I can tell he's more stress free about the process,
being a competitive human being, like, and that's part of the reason why I didn't want you to weigh in the beginning, was knowing your competitive nature, and like you would probably obsess over it. So I was like, nah, like just don't do it.
Yeah.
And but like overcoming all of that, like yeah, it's been huge, dude. So yeah, so it's cool to see the transformation. You know, as time's gone on, like you've definitely. Oh God, you've definitely thought I lost it. Yeah, like true, like good transformation. Because physical transformation is great. However, when you get that mental, emotional transformation with it, where you're truly have changed, then like that's when it's sweet. Because anybody can lose a little bit of weight, but like maintaining it and changing your outlook on life and your movement and how things work and your goals, like that is like truly, in my opinion, like success. So when you can do that and stick with it.
And let me say this, and all that, and Brian, fill everyone in on, because it's important, because a lot of people, especially people that are on the fence, like, should I join a gym? I don't know if I can do this. Like, and then they rail off, a list of reasons why, which are all valid. We all have responsibilities. But let us know, like, dude, how old are you? How many hours do you work? Like, you have kids. Like, what's that situation for you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm 42 now, 42 years old. I work 40 hours a week. Before I even walk in the gym, normally I've walked anywhere from 4.5 to 5 miles a day.
Jesus.
Walking back and forth, up and down ladders and everything else. I mean, my average is usually about 4.8 for the week. And, girlfriend and I got a 13-year-old daughter, and I mean, she's 13 going on about 25, but that's all right. And it's tough. You got to balance it out. But I mean, we have a system that works. I can get in here 4:30, be done on the way home. Christy's on her way home at 5 o'clock. So and do what we got to do to get our daughter, and do what we have to do for the rest of the day. But I mean, before I walk in the gym, I'm sometimes, especially I've told Will this, I'm like, I'd like to have 1 week where I didn't have to walk around all day long and sit behind a desk and and then come in and work out. But he's like, do you think you'd be at the exact same place and feel the same way? And I'm like, I'd probably have more strength and feel better during the workout, but that's part of your process. That's part of the way it works for you. That's my life, and that's the way it is. So,
and it's all relative, right? Like, okay, the world record deadlift holder has 500-pound deadlift or 800 or whatever, but that's all he has to worry about, right?
Yeah,
so
that's all he worries about.
Being a 40-year-old dad who works full time, and your physical numbers are what they are, like that's amazing. Like that's just as impressive, I think that's an awesome thing. I know that's what like motivates me, is to see, you're not a 26-year-old who works part-time and has all day, to rest. Like you did this change with all the responsibilities.
With a full life, and it's cool, and being a good example. Like that's huge. That's my favorite thing. Is being a good example for kids, because dude, they just do what their parents do, and that's it.
Right.
So when you show them like, hey, this is a healthy way to live, like they're gonna do it.
Like I came home last week? Yeah, last week I did Roxanne, and I said, Ashlyn, try this out, and I put it on my phone. I was like, this is what we're gonna do. She's like, the chorus is coming. I'm like, yep, here comes the chorus.
Pick it up.
So she's like, how do you? I was like, you just do it. And she's starting to get into it a little bit now, and where she wants to know what I'm doing. What are you doing at the gym? What did you do today? So that's the main thing. And yeah, I mean, I'm just an everyday guy, 40-year-old guy that just goes to work, comes in here, and does the work, and follows the program.
Yep.
Just if I can tell any listeners out there that do the online stuff with Gary, or come in here every day, follow the program. It works. Don't lie to yourself.
And keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Don't lie to yourself, and track your progress if you have to. That's the main thing. I mean, because there's days where, hey, I'll follow the process, and guess what? I want a damn cookie. So guess what? I'm going to eat a cookie. And it's okay. I'm not going to be like, oh, God, I got to go do 1,000-meter row to burn off that cookie tomorrow. No.
Jesus.
You know what I mean? Because
You're gonna
I
make my
listen.
quit.
You know, I hear people in the gym, and it's like, I don't say anything. And I'm like, okay, just don't say anything.
Yeah, and it's funny, like as you evolve and change and grow, you know, you may hear somebody that was like in a place you were in.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
and you're like, damn, like I've been there. And then that's how like there's always that natural evolution, and some people's is slower, some people's faster.
Right.
Like in your journey, like is interesting because you lost a lot of weight initially. You lost it pretty quickly, and then hit like a roadblock.
Right.
Right? And then everything kind of stalled. Whereas some people will slowly lose weight over time, and it's just a little struggle. But you like lost a ton out of the gate, which is kind of a blessing and a curse.
Yep.
Because like, yeah, you lost it, but what happens when the challenge is
Oh,
here?
absolutely.
And so that's another that's another thing in of itself. But it's cool. It's cool to see, you know, because we had a conversation the other day, and you know about that. You're like, man, I hear people talking, and you know, and you know what they're saying about certain things and eating and training and things like that. And so I can tell, you know, you maybe see a little yourself or something you've already been through with other people in the gym.
Oh, yeah. There was a member one time, and I was just like, wow, I saw this person really just kind of beating themselves up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, take a step back.
Mm-hmm.
Take a step back. And like you talked on about Carmen, I remember when she came in here and we were in the old gym and she was frustrated.
Oh, yeah.
She was pissed.
Yeah.
And that was when I was going 1,000 miles an hour. And I was like, just keep coming. Just keep. And look at her now. I mean, she's ridiculous.
And that conversation, though.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to fight me. Those hard
Yeah.
moments as a coach. And what's cool, like, you've been through it, and, like, no, you're not a coach, but, like, you could share your experience with people. You know,
absolutely,
like, you have
yeah.
been there, and it's good to have experienced people, because, like, hearing from your coach is one thing, but when someone has truly been through this exact situation and came out the other side better for it, and you hear them say, like, hey, like, this is what happened to me, and this is where I'm at now, it's helpful for people. You know,
Right.
and that's a good part about the community aspect of the gym is like having people that have been through the struggle. You know, everyone's been through different things, but everyone can relate on certain levels, and having people to talk to about it,
Absolutely.
you know, is pretty huge. So for you to go through it, and then you can kind of share that with other people, like, you know what, I went through this. Maybe like, you know, you should chill out. Maybe talk to one of the coaches. But this is what I did. You know, I kind of, you know, stopped coming here and being beast mode every day, and you know, maybe that'll help. And
Absolutely, yeah.
So, yeah, it's cool.
What do y'all think? I think that's a good way to end it.
Yeah, let's.
Leave everyone a good little nugget of thought there.
Yeah. Damn, what did you say? I feel like I should have written down something you said today. Oh, working out's like brushing your teeth.
Yeah, there it is.
I'm about to get a big vinyl of that and put it on the wall in the gym.
You just got it. It's just consistency, man. Over intensity. If you start brushing too hard, you're gonna brush your gums away.
Yep.
Believe me, I hear that every day.
Can't get that enamel back.
Yeah, you do. Oh man. All right, cool. So yeah, I think that about wraps it up. I didn't want to get into the Final Four today. I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
We could have. We could have.
But we'll leave that
I was
now.
chomping at it.
We'll just leave it be. So yeah, I guess we're out.
All right.
Peace.
Holla.
Later.
As always, thanks for listening, guys. If you want to learn more, check us out at coastalfitnessva.com or garydeagle.com. We'll see you next time.